Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Kings NFL Thursday Night Recap Show. I'm your host, Mean Gene, and I am joined by the one and only, my dog, Denny Sharma. What's up, Denny?
Mean Gene, glad to be back. Another week. Love it.
Hey, man, look here. Thursday Night Football, NFL. I tell you what, Dustin Pfeiffer said yesterday on our show, and we put a short up there on YouTube about how better the Thursday night games have become as far as competition. Remember, we used to get those duds, right?
Yeah, I mean, the NFL gods have figured out a way to get some good matchups. I mean, I know we're talking Thursday night, but what a treat on Monday night too, right? And Sunday
Yeah,
night.
yeah. I mean, it's working out that way. And then, of course, we also benefit from some of those schedules that are already predetermined. Years in advance, as far as like one division taking on another division, and you automatically you might get some good matchups. But anyway, let's talk about this game Thursday night, man. The Washington Commanders at the Green Bay Packers. Packers seem to be a very hot team right now, and we'll talk about why here in a little bit. But the Commanders, though, the Commanders are so disrespectful. A team that was in the NFC Championship game last year almost made it to the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. And last night, Dustin, did he? It just looked like I don't know. The Commanders lose this game by a score of 27-18, and Jaden Daniels don't look the same.
You know what? You know what I like about Jane Daniels? He could get hit in the head. He could have a touchdown. He could get intercepted. He's always smiling, so he's always trying to stay positive. But you're right. It's almost. I think we all predicted the same thing that that the team of Washington was going to have a hangover from last year and brought back to reality. In that the NFL watches all the other teams watch all their tape and all their video. And they end up figuring out how to uh, figure, defend against this phenom, right?
Mhm.
So what we saw last night was a little bit more of good football versus great football last year. So I'm not surprised. They've been challenged. They got rid of their running back right before game one. Eckler went down late, but he wasn't really a factor anyways.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they brought in Debo, which I was cheering for, but outside of that garbage touchdown on the end, he wasn't really much of a factor either. So um, Zach Ertz did come up, so that was some impressiveness. I mean, I think they still have some bright spots, but um, I think we're putting a lot of pressure on the Commanders and forgetting how much better the Packers have gotten.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, and that is true. And we're gonna look. I mean, the Packers. Man, they 2-0. Okay, they 2-0. However you want to slice and dice it. They took care of Detroit last week. That's somebody in their division, right? And here they are uh, beating another playoff team in the Commanders. But look, going back to Jaden Daniels, though, I mean, let's just look. Seven. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, 24, 42, 200 yards, two touchdowns. Not necessarily bad, but you talked about Eckler, and man, poor guy. Uh, Eight rushes, 17 yards. And even before he got hurt, before he went down, he just was struggling there. And Ertz, it seems to be the go-to guy. But I think the biggest disappointment on that Washington Commanders offense has got to be Terry McLaurin, which just,
Yeah.
is it because he's not in football shape yet, or is it that teams are just keying in on it?
I think you're right. I'm scary. Terry's not so scary anymore, and Zach Ertz ends up being the go-to guy. But you mentioned Jaden Daniels, 17 yards. That was a leading rusher. I mean, Eckler had 17, and so did Merritt. I mean, that's not how you win these ball games. I mean, last year they were spread across. You bring in guys like Debo to fill in the gaps, and then you're expecting McLaren to be the guy after the
Mhm.
big contract, and maybe he's not football ready. He needs some time to catch up. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they're not clicking on all cylinders like they were last year. But remember, they went into the playoffs last year not with a top seed. I mean, they lost some games, so I wouldn't get too worried or say this is a dumpster fire or anything like that. But I mean, they're 1-1. They're going in against the Raiders next week. So I mean, they're still plenty of time left, I think, for the Commanders. I wouldn't be too worried. But Eckler does scare me because now you don't
Yeah.
really have a go-to guy on the backfield, even though he was, on the older side. But they really don't have a go-to RB1 right now.
No, I mean you get rid of Brian Robinson, right? So I mean, I
Yep.
guess hindsight's 2020. If you knew that Eckler has suffered a lot of injuries over the last couple of years, even
Right.
with the Chargers, I do remember. But look here, let's talk about this non-contact injury, man. Those are the worst that could ever happen to a player. And you could see, man, when he stepped back, it looked like he was trying to cut or do whatever he was trying to do. And and he grabbed that heel, man. That was it. So it just looked like he has a torn ACL, and I guess
Yeah.
I haven't seen the results of the MRI yet to determine whether or not he's going to be out for the season. But it looks like he's out for the season.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially at that age. I mean, if it is a torn ACL, if it is, it hasn't confirmed yet. But if it is, yeah, those aren't. Us old guys here, we sprain anything, we ain't recovering anytime soon. So, I mean, I feel bad for anybody who goes, especially through a non-contact play like that, because that's just rough to see. And you work all off season to get to these games, and then something like that happens. You don't want to. Even as a competitor or the other side of the team, you don't want to see anybody go down like that.
No, you don't. But Denny, you know what, man? Just look here. They struggled way before that injury.
Oh no, yep.
They don't look like the same team now. We can go ahead and give credit to the Green Bay Packers defense because they do have. Oh, wait a minute. The last time me and you did a show, Michael Parsons was still a member of the Dallas Cowboys, right? So
I mean,
they
hold
have.
on. The wound is still open right here.
Oh, I know it, man. Hey, look here, man. They have Micah Parsons now, and whether he's involved in a play or not, he's on the field. And let me tell you, the pass rush. I got to think that one of the reasons why Jaden Daniels looked really off last night was because of that Green Bay defense.
I mean, it's funny. I was watching, and you always have stats for offensive guys running, rushing, carries, yards, whatever. Micah Parsons has a tracker, and maybe I never noticed it before, but you got how many times he's in the play, how many pressures, what kind of impact he's having on the game. But every time somebody talks about Micah Parsons, that's not really the line. The line doesn't really talk about what he really does. Like you just said, Jaden Daniels, the whole offense has to acknowledge where he's at before the play starts. We can talk about the greats in the past where if you knew Dion was on this side, you avoided him side, whatever. Same thing for Micah Parsons, generational talent. You won't see it pop up on 9 sacks or forced fumbles or anything like that. But he does change the way the offense has to line up or in which way they have to go. So, but there's the rest of the team is stepping up too. So that defense, they were already good. They were already a playoff team. That could be the missing piece. I love, they always go back and show likes. He's like the Reggie White when he came over. They remind him of Derek Thomas, which was just mind blowing. Like that was a phenom back in the day. So, I mean, the Packers got a good one. We might not see his name on the sack list this year because there's been a lot of watching how many plays he's on, but he's very, very. I mean, I already knew that he's very disruptive, but we're seeing that over and over again still.
Yeah, we are, and let's look at Jordan Love, man. He just did what he's supposed to do at home. When you're playing in all whites on a Thursday night in front of your faithful cheeseheads, right? So 19 to 31, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. But man, let me tell you, and look, they had a structurally solid offensive performance. Josh Jacobs, 23 rushes, 84 yards, and a touchdown. But let me tell you, the Washington Commanders, how do you give up a 57-yard run to a tight end? A tight end.
Yeah.
Draft.
Well, real quick, Josh Jacobs has been Mr. TD, right? 9-10 games in a row with the touchdown. You can almost, if you're playing DraftKings, you can count on him to score almost every week now. And they know it, and they're going to it, and he's delivering, right? 84 yards and I've always liked him even when he was at the Raiders. So when I saw the Packers get him, I mean I mean they got a gift right there. So yeah, very balanced with Jacobs.
Very balanced.
Tucker Kraft came alive. Yeah, the tight end slot in that position. I mean, and on that team, it is just amazing. And Jordan Love loves a good tight end like that to drop it off to, but the runs he was making,
Yeah, I mean, where was the Commanders' defense? I just
yeah. Well, they were all focused on Matt Golden, which is supposed to be a big bright spot for that Packers offense, which was he was not only no catches, no yards on the receiving end. He wears number 02. So is that a
yeah.
coincidence? I'm joking, but I do hope big things for Matt Golden because he was a big
He was
bright spot
targeted a
coming
couple
out.
of times.
Yeah, but I mean, Tucker Kraft got his 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be around for a while. So
Well,
you're right. They had a lot of options last night.
and one of the options that they didn't have because this guy also got hurt was Jaden. Is it Green? Reed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jaden Reed went down. Who, believe it or not, I had him on my bench. I nearly started him. And look, man, I tell you what. This is why it kind of sucks in a sense to play fantasy football because when players get hurt, the knee-jerk reaction. Look, I traded Eckler before he made it to the locker room. I mean, I got rid of him. And that's just sad.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do with fantasy football, right?
Yeah, the first thing you do is go see your lineup to see if he was in your starting lineup or not. And then you're like, oh, good, he was on my bench.
You wrecked your head, yeah. And I'm like, okay, man. So those are two key players that went down, and Jaden Reed is also battled injury. I think did he have like a toe injury or something like that at one particular time? So I don't know, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to the Packers because they got a host of receivers. You just talked about Golden, and then what about Wicks and is
Dobbs.
it Wicks and Dobbs, right?
Yeah.
So just crazy, man. But anyway, the Green Bay Packers are good. They're good. And, like we just said, Micah Parsons, not much of an impact in that game. But the fact that he's there, as the season progresses, he's going to get better and going to make a difference in this Packers schedule down the road.
Yeah. And speak about the schedule. So Packers play the Browns next week. I mean, I don't know how many times I think we should take a shot every time they talk about Parsons versus Myles Garrett next week.
Oh yeah, I was just about to bring him up too because that's going to be the focus. And I mean, hey, this guy Myles Garrett is no joke, right? I mean, I don't know if he's going to get to Jordan Love like he likes to get to Joe Burrow. He loves Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah. But you're right. I mean, that defense showed up against the Bengals, made it a closer game than everybody thought. So, I mean, we haven't seen the Browns this week yet, but to see get them ready for the Packers, you're right. We'll see if he can track down Jordan Love or not.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, hey, the Washington Commanders are now 1-1. The Packers are 2-0 to start off the season. So we'll keep an eye on those guys. But look here. How about we talk about, and I know you're not going to get off this show without talking about the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys in that first game, Dak Prescott looked good. I told people, hey, take the over this year when it comes to the Cowboys offense. And I tend to think, and even though that game didn't go over like it was supposed to because of the delay, I guarantee you, man, had that game went on without the delay, we were looking for a shootout.
Oh, I agree. I think coincidentally that lightning strike or the thunder, it's scared both sides of the offense, but it woke up the defense because it became a defensive battle in the second half to where I think even though the Cowboys lost, they were feeling pretty good about their defense without Parsons now, shutting down or limiting Jalen Hurts or his offense to where we didn't hear about A.J. Brown. You didn't hear about Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts did hurt him a couple times, but I think there was a lot of upside in that second half when they limited that offense because you're right. It would have been a shootout had not have been for some kind of delay in the middle of that game.
That's true. So, Cowboys at home for the first time in this early season. They're hosting a team that they have owned. Okay, no matter who was the
Hmm.
coach, no matter who was the quarterback of the New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys have owned them now. Quickly on the Giants, they lose their first game, right? And they have Russell Wilson, who right now it looks like, man, Jackson Dart is going to be starting much sooner than later.
Uh, yeah. So news coming out of New York, everybody wants to see Jackson Dart already. It's only been a second. Come on, give Russell a break. I mean, but even though, but before the season started, we talked about the Giants being hungry, looking
Mhm.
exciting. They did not look hungry last week. And you're right, the Cowboys have been Giants killers, especially Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
He's gone, I believe, 11 straight in a row against the Giants, and now I just jinxed the Cowboys. Uh, but the Dak has owned the NFC East
Yeah, that's
since,
true.
and now that you saw him clicking last week, we can go down the line real quick. But Javante Williams was a nice surprise for the backfield in Cowboy country, right? CeeDee Lamb he's going to get his balls, and he's got to catch the ones that count.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not worried about that. So
Yeah.
he's gonna show up. He'll be
Yeah, he's
back.
gonna
I'm not
show up
worried
big
about
time.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You're right.
I don't want to tell everybody out there, but if you had a survivor pick and didn't know who to choose, Cowboys has got to be up there in the survivor
It's
picks
gotta
because
be. It's gotta be. And it has to be. I mean, this game just has even if it's not a blowout, but from a Dallas Cowboy perspective, if you don't have Dak Prescott and CD Lamb ready to go this week,
oh
man,
yeah,
you're gonna be missing out, right? I don't
yeah.
know how much running. Javante Williams didn't show me a whole lot, did it? Because those touchdowns were just right there at the goal line. All you had to do was just fall in the end zone, right?
Yeah, but but I mean, that's what you need. I mean, that's what Ezekiel used to do in his later years. But that's what
Yeah,
you
that's
need.
true.
But on the other side, the Giants. We talked about Malik Neighbors. I mean, I saw a little bit of his frustrations on the sidelines. We know
Oh
the
yeah,
fans are frustrated with
yeah,
Russell Wilson, but Neighbors being frustrated. You got Scatterboo, which I think he's one of the fan favorites. But
yeah. He is.
if you don't have anybody to run behind, it's that's going to be a challenging. I mean, he if it's a blowout, which is I'm anticipating, we know the Cowboys. We feel like the Cowboys are going to win by
Mhm,
2 touchdowns.
mhm.
We might see a glimpse of Jackson Dart maybe later in the game.
We might, but look, regardless of who they put in at quarterback
Right,
for the Giants, if you better get the ball to Malik Neighbors, okay.
right.
Now this is just me, okay. I'm just a nobody, okay. I'm thinking, you know, Jameis Winston has a hell of an arm, okay, and Malik Neighbors has hella speed. It just seems like those two go together. I know that they're not going to set Russell and bring in uh, Jameis Winston, but why the hell did you sign him? You were proud to announce that you had both of those quarterbacks. And when, it just seemed like in a game time situation, if you want to set Jackson Dart and have him watch and learn, you know,
Yeah.
but if he comes in right away, and I know we're comparing him to, you see JJ McCarthy, you see Drake May, you see all these quarterbacks getting in and getting it done. But look at here, you better get the damn ball to Malik Neighbors. I don't care who's quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Winston is there too, and that's a nice arm, a nice locker room guy, a nice motivator. I like Jameis Winston. I'd be worried if the Cowboys are close in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. Obviously, Russell Wilson probably won't come out. But to say something happens to him, and like you said, if somebody has to come in, Winston comes in and just lines up neighbors on a deep route. Whew, the Cowboys defense. I was talking more about the line last week.
Mhm.
Their quarterbacks are still iffy, and Neighbors is not
Yeah, and
a
Neighbors is
wide
that guy.
receiver three. He's wide receiver number one.
They better figure it out. And it's risky either way. Russell is slow. I mean, Russell is a guy that you can learn from, and I see Jackson Dart doing that on the sidelines. But you also know the Cowboys may not have the best defense, but ain't nothing like a rookie coming in, man, when that defense get to licking those chops. So you're looking at about 4 or 5 sacks, boom.
either way, that's why they said they played. The NFC East throws out all the records. I still believe we're going to be a 2-touchdown win here for sure for the Cowboys.
All right, I was just about to ask you who's your pick there. So you want to throw out a score before we wrap it up?
27-13.
Yeah, I'm you know what? Okay, I'm gonna write that down. 27-13. All right, I'm gonna go 34-10. I mean, look, just beat them down like you always have. Okay, I mean, Dallas needs something to be proud of. But real quick before we let you go, we were talking before we got on here about the possibilities that the Cowboys could be beefing up that defense a little bit. You threw a couple of names out there.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney, which he hasn't played in a while, but that's kind of what Jerry likes doing. He likes to reinvent some of these talent that's out there. The Cowboys have had some luck in the past bringing back some old folks that are older veterans that have got a good 1 or 2 years out of them. So Clowney could be is a big name. It could help on that third down defense, but also there was word that he wasn't the only veteran they were looking. Also, Khalil Mack, which is also a big name, but hasn't played in a little while. But both free agents that I know Clowney came to visit. I don't know where Mack was this week, but those are some big names without getting rid of any of them draft picks they've been holding on.
Yeah,
they
Khalil
just got
Mack
recently.
Khalil Mack would probably be the better of the two, so that I think he's still got something left in the tank. Jadeveon Clowney has flashes of success there, but either one of those guys, they're veterans, and you're talking about leadership too in the locker room, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, Danny. Hey, look, folks. Hey, do us a favor. Like the show, okay? Share it. And also, we need you to subscribe, okay? And then, of course, I want to make sure that you go back and watch our NFL Week 2 predictions that we did on the Sports Kings. So that way, we covered all the games, okay? And so far, you know what? We're gonna have to get your picks, okay, so we can add them in there. Right now, me and Gene is kind of I'm tied with Jacob, okay? I think I went 11-5 last week. I don't know what's gonna happen this week. But Denny, as always, man, it's great having you on here, and we'll catch you back here for the next recap.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure. Yeah, right. To everybody out there, smash that like button, subscribe,
and we'll see you back here next week. All right, on the NFL Recap Show.